here today, heading over to that tree over there. And to be honest with you, I cannot tell you what that tree is. Maybe somebody else can tell me. Splits pretty good though, whatever it is. And I'm at a creek crossing down here, and I didn't come. I'm not here actually looking for firewood, but a man gave me some. But what I was here for was, you've probably seen me do some of those down the middle shorts, and there's a tree right over there that I was cutting up, and the guy stopped me the other day. He pulls across the creek there. It's a creek crossing, and he pulled up this way. Somebody's dumped a couch here. They do that kind of stuff sometimes. But he got out and he said, I'd like to keep that tree there. And I thought that was public property, but I guess this is his property, and they just have a right of way. Look how big this tree is here. Real quick pause for this, just to show how huge this thing is. Look at this. It's a sycamore. That's what you hear me talk about all the time, being so hard to split. That's a big sycamore right there. Look at the base of that tree. 5 feet wide, easy at the bottom. Easily 5 feet wide. There's other trees, you know, and that's a good sized tree, but wow. But anyway, he stopped and he said, I'd like to keep that tree there. And I thought the guy was going to jump all over me and stuff. We'll walk this way while I'm talking. If I can carry all this. My partner's not with me. But he said, I'd like to keep that tree there. And I said, oh, I'm sorry. I said, is this your property? And he said, yeah. And I said, I didn't know. I thought it was public property. And he said, no. He said, they have a right of way here. He said, but I'm wanting to keep that tree there to try to help keep the bank there from washing out. And I said, okay. And I thought, you know, I was going to leave and everything. And I expected him to jump onto me, to be honest. But he was very friendly. Actually, he went farther than just that. He said, get in the truck and we're going to go find you all a tree. And I said, really? I said, you don't have to do that, sir. And he said, no. He said, I want to get you some good firewood or something like that. Real friendly, man. I'm so happy to see that from him. He brought us... he told me I could get this tree here, and this is electric fence. And I've seen this tree, actually. This is just right down the road from my home where I'm at here. And I have seen this tree for probably, it's been down for, I know, over a year. And honestly, like I said, I wasn't even here looking for firewood. I was just here looking for a round to do one of those down the middle. And if you recognize that top right there is in the background of one of my down the middle shorts. As you can see, I've already cut on some of it and split it, and that's what I'm here to do today, is just do a little bucking and then do some splitting as well. But he showed me how to get into this fence here and everything, and he said, just make sure you close it back. I've got a calf in there. I mean, the man could have just said, hey, this is my property, get off of it, leave. But he went as far as driving me over to that field over there and driving up and down through there while it was wet. And he said, well, I want to make sure you get some stuff that'll burn good for you. He said, I'll tell you what. He said, you can go get that tree over there. He said, just make sure you close that fence back. He said, I've only got one calf in there. So, I mean, that just shows you how many different ways of getting wood there is. I didn't even come here looking necessarily for a bunch of firewood. I was just looking for a good round, you know. And there was I actually got a round off of that one and split it before he told me that he wanted to keep it there. So, and I wouldn't have done that had I known it was his property. Or at least I hope I wouldn't. The tree was kind of dead and rotten, but I honestly thought this was public property. But nope. He said it's his property, and they have a right of way to it, I guess. But anyways, he was a very friendly man. I'm glad to have met him, and it led me to this here. I don't know what this is. Somebody might be able to tell me. You know, it kind of looks like cherry, but I don't think it is. Let me check. You can see I've split some of it already. It looks like cherry, doesn't it? To me. And you know, it may be even. Actually, yeah, this is cherry. Wow. It smells like cherry. Well, the other day when I was here, I thought it wasn't, but now that I definitely think that's a cherry tree. Here. Yeah, it smells like cherry. It looks like cherry too, doesn't it? I believe it is cherry. Yeah, I believe it is cherry. Well, got me some more cherry. quite a bit more cherry. There's that, all of that, which is pretty big. Some of this over here that I brought over here. There's another big tree right there at the bottom. Beautiful creek crossing here too, and just a beautiful location, as you can see. Yeah, but you might recognize that background right there in one of my splitting down the middle shorts. I have some history here too. I mean, I've brought my kids here many times. There's a road that goes from the main road up there, and it goes back here all the way over to there to the creek, and a lot of people come here, and I've even been baptized there when I was younger, so I have some history there. But I got something else I want to show too, and it's going to be fun to use on this cherry, this big cherry tree here. And it's this. Got it on a trade just the other day, actually. Stihl ms311, and it is a little dirty right now. I need to clean it up a little bit, but it don't take long to get them that way. But I'll tell you one thing, this saw runs good, cuts good. 25-inch bar on it. Sharpened the chain before I came, so I have used it already. I don't have any footage of me using it though. But I'll tell you one thing, I love that McCullough saw, but something I really enjoy, I've always loved Stihl. I mean, without a doubt, it would be for me between Stihl and probably Johnson Red. And I just like Stihl a whole lot. They're very dependable. I'll tell you something else I like about these Stihl saws. Not only are they dependable and got a lot of power and everything, but I love how your tensioner screws in here. I hate it when it's up here. Like that McCullough I got, it's up here, and it's just hard to get to. It's just to me, I don't really understand why they would put it up there, but that's just my opinion. There's the dogs on it. Bar's in pretty good shape. The chain could probably still use some work, but I got it sharp, as you see. Bit of a burr there. I'm not the best at sharp. I know how to get them sharp, but as far as like getting the gullet and stuff like that, I don't always do that. It'd probably be better to, but I don't. You can see it's pretty dirty too right now. But anyways, there we go. I love this saw, I do. It's got a 25-inch bar on it and everything, so it cuts great. It starts up easily. It idles for me for as long as I want to let it idle, really, you know. So I got this saw and another one on a trade, and I'm pretty happy with this saw. It's a decent size saw. I think it's around 59 cc's or something. So the McCullough I had, I think it was 54. I mean, I still have it. The McCullough you've seen me use, I think it's 54 cc's. Now the Johnson Red I have actually is more than this, if I'm not mistaken, which it's ported. I think it's over 60. But I really like this saw. And I'm excited to see how it does in this cherry here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna buck this up and get some good bucking footage, or hopefully what I call good. I ain't the best at that by no means with the saw. I'm comfortable with the chainsaw, don't get me wrong. I'm just not like some of these guys that you see who you can tell, you know, really know what they're doing with the saw and have learned all the tricks and everything. I'm not one of them kind of guys. I want to, of course I do, but I'm not there yet with the saw. Axe, I'm very comfortable with an axe. I'm very comfortable with the saw, like I said. Like I don't feel I'm gonna get hurt with the saw, which you always can, so I know that, but I'm comfortable enough to where I feel like I'll be okay. But as far as like standing up and bucking and stuff like that, I want to learn more with that. I'm not really done a lot of that. But anyways, enough rambling here. Let's go ahead and get into bucking here. See how this thing does. Put the chain brake on. There you go. You heard it there. Pull it up one. See how that is? that saw. Look how it's idling there now. That McCullough's a great saw, don't get me wrong, but it's good to have a saw again that performs how it's supposed to. And it's nobody's fault but mine that the McCullough was doing like that, which it was like that when I bought it. But it's annoying when you deal with a saw like that. It's annoying. I mean, this work is hard enough as it is. I don't want to deal with the saw that's gonna give me trouble. I like something that does like that. It starts when it's supposed to, idles the way it's supposed to, cuts the way it's supposed to, and that does take maintaining them and repairing them as you need to. So I'm just really glad to have that saw. It does great. I like that 25-inch bar. It pulls it just fine. It's not a pro saw or anything like that. So I mean, I've used those. Like the McCullough, I got, it's a pro saw. The Johnson Red, it's a commercial saw. So, but I really like it. I like this saw. It's around 59 cc. So I like around there and greater really myself. I wanted to say thank you again to everybody too who's been subscribing. I mean, it's surprised me and my family so much how much attention our channel has got here lately. And a big part of it is the shorts too that I've been doing. That's really helped a whole lot. People have an interest in seeing somebody split firewood down the middle for whatever reason, and I enjoy doing that, and I enjoy watching it too, but I'm saying there seems to be quite a big interest in it, so I intend to continue to do that with different types of axes and different types of woods as well. The Adler Super Splitter is an axe I'm very interested in after the vintage axe hoarder mentioning that to me. He told me that was the only axe he's ever had, or I believe this is how he put it, the only axe he's used yet that split better than the Fisker's axe. And so, and I'm not doubting it at all, because the head on it looks identical to the Fisker's except it's bigger. But the design itself is pretty much identical. And I think it's 2 pounds bigger, and then it has a wooden handle with 2 cone wedges. So it looks like a well-made axe, dude, or maul, whatever you want to call it. I guess it's a super splitting axe, but it's close to it's in between, I guess, the weight of an axe and a maul, because a lot of mauls are 8 pounds, and then axes are 4 pounds, and the Super Splitter, Adler Super Splitter, is 6 pounds. So I do intend to get one of those. I don't think it'll be as good for hitting angles like the Fisker's is. That's why I love the Fisker so much. It's very balanced. I mean, it's great for hitting angles, doesn't wear you out too fast, and it just has that splitting head. So to me, it's so good for that. It is. And it's still, to this day, that's the best splitting axe I've ever used. It's just the head on it, that's what it's made to do, and it's just a really good design. But anyways, enough about that, the axes. But the reason I got into that is just the shorts alone, how much the channel has grown. I mean, I went from, I think, I was almost to 700 subscribers, and now I'm over 1,700. And that happened probably within a week period of time. I had a short video recently hit over 1 million views, and it absolutely surprised me. I mean, the night that it happened, I told my wife, like, I was watching the video and I seen how quick the views were climbing on it, and I never had a short do that before. I mean, it jumped up to like over 700 views pretty much as soon as I did it, and then it was going up, it seemed like 10,000 views every time I refreshed it. And it ended up going all the way up to over 1 million, and now I think it's at 1.4 million or something like that, and it just surprised me so much, and seemed to get my channel a lot of attention. So I was able to get monetized as well. I'm just so thankful for that. I did not expect it to happen this soon. I didn't. I had talked to my wife about it before, and I said, yeah, maybe after around a year or so, we may hit 1,000, and here I am around 4 months or so into it, and almost to 2,000, and I'm just so thankful for that. I'm not saying that in a bragging way at all. I'm saying it in a very gracious way. Very thankful. Surprised, but very pleasantly surprised. I mean, and there's other people on here I talked to. Roadhog is one of them, and me and him were talking about it, how that it's discouraging, when you put all this time and stuff into these videos and editing and everything, and sometimes not only will you hit a standstill, but sometimes you'll see your subscribers decrease, and it can be very disheartening, discouraging. But I encourage anybody to just keep pressing on. And when things get like that, where it seems like things are going downhill, for me, what I tried to do whenever that happened, when I felt like things were at a sit still or going downhill, I tried to push harder. I tried to go make more content and tried to edit it in a way that would keep people's interest. You know, all the stuff that, because some of these clips sometimes when I do some of these videos, they'll be 3 or 4 hours long. And so I try to get all that stuff out that isn't too interesting and try to keep stuff that what I feel would keep people interested, so that they don't turn away from the channel. And there's so many different YouTube channels out there. It's definitely something we've got to work at. But I also feel it's definitely something that can pay off for us. And it has already for me somewhat. I'm just so thankful for it. In more ways than one, I'm not just talking about getting monetized. Like I met Gary McNeely and his son Brad through the channel. That alone to me is huge, you know, that these people, he was willing to give me axes that he made, and beautiful axes that I'm very thankful for, and Carter one as well. And just what he said to me too, how that when he was younger, he did it, I think, the same way I do, or similar way, or something of that nature, he said. And he told me to keep on going with the videos or something of that nature, and that meant a whole lot to me. And I intend to keep on going. And I don't want anybody to think that just because I'm doing these shorts here lately that I'm going to quit doing the firewood adventures and everything. No, I don't want to change who I am at all, just because of the channel's growing somewhat. You know, I'm still a little channel compared to a lot of these channels, but I have been doing a lot of those shorts just because they're easy to do and they're fun. And they do help the channel a lot, but I intend to, without a doubt, keep doing the firewood adventures. And so right here, what I'm doing, though, is just bucking this cherry. It's a pretty good-sized cherry tree, and as I said, I didn't even go there necessarily looking for, like, a lot of firewood. I was just looking for a big round, you know. I just wanted a big round because I was doing one of those down the middle videos, and that's how I've done some of them. Some of them I've got, you know, from the locations that I get wood from, and then there's been times, too, whenever I see a tree or just go looking for some even, because I want different types of wood or something of that nature, you know. I want a different background. I want something that's interesting in a short, you know, to me. And so that's how I came across this. You know, I'd been to that creek crossing so many times. I'd never met the owner who owns that field that I'm in right here in this video until here recently, and he was such a friendly guy. I mean, as I said, I thought he was going to jump all over me, because he got out and he said something to the nature of, you know, I'd rather keep that tree where it's at. I was cutting up a tree, and it's actually in one of my splitting down the middle videos. It's one of them that I do, the waterlogged one. And he said, I'd rather keep that where it is. He said to keep that bank from washing away or something of that nature. And after I found out it was his property and not public property, you know, that creek, it was a creek crossing, I apologized to him and everything and expected him to tell me, you know, well, you need to just leave or whatever. But no, he said, I've got a lot of wood laying around here if you're interested. He said, you and your boy jump in the truck and I'll take you to look at some. And sure enough, we got in the man's truck. He had a diesel Dodge diesel. I think it had a 5.9 in it. I know that ain't interesting to some people, but I really like that truck. It was a 5-speed, I think. Sounded really good. It was a second generation Dodge, and we got in it, and he brought us over to one field and looked around a little bit, and then he said, I'll tell you what, he said, you can have that big tree. And I had seen this tree already around a year or so ago, maybe even longer than that. I seen that it was down, but when I cut into it, I could tell that it was still wet, though. The wood, it's still wet, still green. But he said, I'll tell you what, you can have that tree. He said, just make sure you close that fence back. He said, I've got a calf in that field. And I said, yes, sir, I sure will. And so I've got some footage out here of doing some of those down the middle videos of this wood here. And then I decided I was actually going to do a live here doing this. And I've still yet to do a live. And I'll tell you part of the reason why is because here at home, there isn't really a whole lot of interesting things I could do because I don't really have a lot of wood here. Really, the only thing I could do here at home is maybe some axe handle making. And I feel like people would enjoy seeing some hand splitting or tree felling or something of that nature more and I would enjoy doing it more. And so I was going to do a live actually doing this today. And me and my wife actually tested it out, but it just wasn't working well enough. My phone doesn't have high speed. Me and my wife have Wi-Fi, so I don't get unlimited high-speed internet anymore like I used to, since we have Wi-Fi now, just because it's pretty much double the price. But now that I'm wanting to do some of these lives, I intend to do that again, and once I do, I intend to do some lives. But this day, actually, I even did one of the lives, tested it out in private mode or something to that nature, and I sent the link to my wife, and she was able to get on it and said she could see me and everything for a while, but it was just really laggy, really slow. And so I think that would have made an interesting one, though, because I had good service out there. It's just that the high speed wasn't working good. Now, where I go and get the wood normally, the 200-acre woods, I call it, where the white oak is, the service isn't nearly as good there. Service is actually pretty bad, so I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to get lives there very well. But like something like this would have been great, because I have some footage of splitting this cherry as well, and I intend to upload that as well tonight. But and that's what I was going to show, was me splitting it. But after seeing how laggy it was, I decided not to. But I am definitely interested in doing some lives now that we can. Carter wasn't with me here either. He spent the night with my mom, and because it was my little nephew's birthday, and so they were over at my mom's last night, them and another little boy. And he still wasn't back yet. He's staying another night, so. I like it myself. Made short work of that. As I said, I know I'm nothing like these other saw guys. I'm not. But I do like to have a dependable saw. Now, there's quite a bit of big rounds here. There's going to be some good hand splitting. Yes, there is. 2, 3, 4. I think that one will make a good down the middle one. Big ugly cherry here. 5 over there. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And then there's a big one over there too. Quite a bit of wood here. Now just to get this stuff stood on the end and start splitting. That over there, I can hear it from here. Love the sound of moving water like that. All right, let's get the splitting. Yeah, I like that 311. That's a good saw. It is. Still, I know that's nothing like when you get into, the professional saws like the 460 and things of that nature, 360. I believe that's a professional saw. But that's a good saw right there. It works great for it. Cut right through that cherry, no problem. These are some pretty big rounds too, so.